I therefore respectfully want to make it clear that I will not resign.
So President Ramaphosa will not be resigning, but how did things get to this point in the first place? So, 2 days ago, 8th of May, South Africa's highest court did something that almost never happens. It told Parliament, you got it wrong. And now the President of South Africa is at risk of impeachment. So I'm going to break down exactly what happened, what it means, and why I think this might be one of the most constitutionally significant moments since 1994. In February 2020, about 580,000 US dollars, which was stuffed in a couch, was stolen from President Cyril Ramaphosa's game farm in Limpopo, a place called Phala Phala. Now, the president says that this was money from his side gig selling buffalo. You know how presidents have side hustles. So critics are now saying that not only was this undeclared foreign currency, but everything that happened after the robbery was potentially criminal. So that was 2020. Now, 2 years later, 2022, a panel of experts chaired by former Chief Justice Sandile Ngcobo investigated. And they found that on the face of it, or on first appearance, there seems to be a case to answer. So not a conviction, not a finding of guilt, but enough to say, hey, I think this needs a full investigation. Now, here's where Parliament then came in, and here's where it gets a little constitutionally messy. So the National Assembly had a choice. So the Constitution gives Parliament the power and arguably the duty to hold the President accountable. Section 89, we'll come back to that. So in December 2022, Parliament votes against referring this to an impeachment committee. So the matter was shelved, buried, done. 580,000 US dollars stuffed in the couch of a president of a country. And they were just like, nah, we're not going to look into that. Sounds about right. Then the EFF said, hold my phone, not on our watch. That is unconstitutional. So they took it to court. The ATM also got involved. So they were saying basically you can't just vote away accountability. And that brings us to last Friday, the 8th of May. The Constitutional Court agreed with them. So Chief Justice Mandisa Maya declared the parliamentary rule that allowed the Assembly to bury the report. It was Rule 129I. Declared that rule unconstitutional. So she ordered that the Ngcobo panel report must now go to a formal impeachment committee. So the EFF didn't just win the case, they won the case with costs, meaning that the court found the case so clear-cut that Parliament must now pay their legal bills. But now the latest development is, well, number one, we just heard the president saying that he won't be resigning, and number two, he now plans to legally challenge the underlying Section 89 panel report itself. So that means that the battle is now unfolding on two fronts simultaneously. Number one, constitutionally in Parliament through the Section 89 impeachment process, and number two, legally in the courts through judicial review proceedings. But I think it's important to note that him challenging the report does not automatically stop Parliament from proceeding with the impeachment process. The impeachment process would need for the court to grant a specific interim relief to suspend proceedings. So that just means that South Africa is now entering a period where the president is fighting a constitutional accountability process while simultaneously challenging it legally. And constitutionally speaking, I think that's pretty huge. So I'm going to break down every single piece of what this means: the law, the politics, the procedure, the consequences. So in my next video, I'm going to explain Section 89 of the Constitution. That's the impeachment clause, what it actually says, what it actually requires, and what the numbers would need to look like to actually impeach the president.